Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all my lovely students who are listening to me. I hope that you all are well and fine, safe and sound. I warmly welcome you back to the class of Social Studies. So class, how are you all? I hope that you all are doing well. So, this is your teacher, Ms. Zunaira, your social studies teacher, and today we are back with another lecture. So, let's get started. Students, before starting the lecture, I want to tell you that today we are going to start a new chapter. So, guess what is the name of the chapter? Before disclosing the name of the chapter, here I want to show you something. Okay, now tell me that what is it? Think about it. Your answer might be the world, and you're right. But here comes another picture. That might be a different picture. So, if I ask you what is it, many of you know that it is a globe. So, we can define the word globe, earth, and the map. These things seem similar, but they are different from one another. So, let's see what we are going to study today. Students, what do we see on the globe? We see the cities, the countries, the oceans, the seas on the globe. But there is a difference between map and the globe. What is a map? A map is a two-dimensional representation of a certain region of the world, as it can be shown on the paper as well. But when it comes on the globe, a globe is three-dimensional. The map was two-dimensional and globe is three-dimensional representation of the whole of the world, as you can see here in this picture. And here comes the globe again. Why? Because here we can see many of the things on the globe, including countries, continents, oceans, seas. Okay? One more thing you can see here. There are certain lines on the globe. What are these lines called? We call it as grid of lines. There is the grid of lines on the globe. Why they are located on the globe and why they are necessary. So this is the thing that we are going to learn in this chapter, which we are going to start. So let's see the name of the chapter now. And here comes the name of the chapter, and it is longitude and latitude. The name of the chapter is longitude and latitude. This is our chapter number 8 and it is on page number 30 of your social studies book. So let's start. As we are going to learn about the grid of lines which are present on the globe, so here comes some of the things which we are going to learn from this chapter. And these are poles and equator, longitude. In longitude, we would learn about the lines of longitude, the direction of the lines of longitude, the starting point for measuring the longitude, importance of lines of longitude, and distance between the lines of longitude. And half of the chapter is covered with latitude. And we are going to learn the same things in latitude as we are going to learn in longitude. So, in latitude, we would learn about the lines of latitude, direction of the lines of latitude, the starting point for the measuring latitude, importance of lines of latitude, and the distance between the lines of latitude. In the last, we would see that how do these lines of longitude and latitude help us and why they are important. What kind of task has been done by these lines? We would see them one by one. So let's start from poles and equator. Poles and equator are the points, and we are going to learn them with their picture. Now here comes the globe again, and dear students, here you can observe one thing, that if we draw a vertical line over here from one point to another, and it should be in the center, so we can get two of the points, number one here and second would be here, right? These 2 points are called poles. What these 2 points are called? These are called as poles, right? So the pole towards north would be known as North Pole, and the pole towards the south would be known as South Pole. So how many poles are there? There are 2 poles, number one, North Pole and South Pole. Likewise, if we divide the world or the globe horizontally, we can also divide it into 2 halves. This line which is going horizontally, this is called as equator. So we can say that the line which is going which can be shown vertically would be showing poles, and the line which is horizontal, that can show equator. Okay, now here is the globe again. So we are going to mark here the poles and the equator. So here would be pole, and this is also a pole. Okay, the upper one is the North Pole and the lower one is the South Pole. How can we label the equator here? The vertical corners would be known as equator. So students, here you can see the grid of lines on the globe, right? You can observe one more thing, that few of the lines are traveling from one pole to another, and few of the lines are traveling from equator to equator, right? So the lines which are traveling from one pole to another, they are traveling vertically and they are known as lines of longitude, whereas the lines that are traveling horizontally, they are called as lines of latitude. What they are called? They are called as lines of latitude. Now, remember one thing students, these lines are just imaginary lines. Okay, there is no existence of them. They are just imaginary, and they cannot be seen actually, right? Then why they are considered? We would learn about it. So what is longitude? An imaginary line or an imaginary vertical line that measures the distance east or west in degrees from the prime meridian 0 degree. These lines are often referred as the meridians. They are called as meridians. We would learn about them. Here you should remember that lines of longitude are the lines which are imaginary and they are drawn vertically. Lines of longitude. There are 360 lines of longitude on the globe, and these lines are also called as meridians. Now you can see that, as I told you in the beginning, that some of the lines are traveling vertically, and the total number of these lines is 360. So how many total lines are there which are running from one pole to another? There are 360 lines, and we call them lines of longitude. There are 360 lines of longitude on the globe, and these lines are called as lines of longitude, plus they are also called as lines of meridians or the meridians. Okay, so they are traveling from north to south and south to north. So in simple words, we can say that the lines of longitude travel vertically and there are 360 lines. So here comes the direction of lines of longitude and it is so simple to identify. As you can see the globe here. In this globe, there are only the lines which are traveling from one pole to another. Okay, so the lines of longitude travel from north to south or south to north. It means the lines which are traveling from here to here or here to here. They are called as lines of longitude and they are also called as meridians. And how many meridians are there? There are 360 meridians on the globe and the direction is north to south or south to north. Now here comes the unit of longitude. What is the unit? You have been taught in maths as well that whenever we measure something, we put a unit with the magnitude. So we know that there are 360 lines of longitude and they are very useful for us. They are imaginary lines but they help us to locate different locations. Okay, so the longitude is measured in degrees east or west of the prime meridian and prime meridian is at 0 degree. What is it? As I told you that the lines that are traveling from one pole to another, they are called as lines of longitude. Clear? Now, another thing we can see here, the line which is quite straight here, it is called as prime meridian. Okay, all the lines are called lines of longitude or meridians, but the line which is really straight, quite straight, that is called as prime meridian. And if we measure, so the measurement would give the answer 0 degree. So we can say that prime meridian is at 0 degree. Otherwise, we can measure other meridians and we can get different answers. Okay, but if we see the prime meridian is at 0 degree and the lines of longitude is measured in degrees. Let's learn about the starting point of longitude. 0 degree serves as the starting point of longitude. On previous slide, you have been taught that prime meridian is at 0 degree. So we can also say that the starting point of longitude is prime meridian because prime meridian is also at 0 degree. Greenwich, that is a place in London. It is at 0 degree. Here you can see the prime meridian and it is at 0 degree and it is serving as the starting point for the lines of longitude. Okay, so we start measuring the lines of longitude from 0 degree or the prime meridian. And if we see the globe, so Greenwich, that is a place in London, it is at 0 degree. And here, according to the map, you can see that this is a globe. In midline, you can see a dot here. If we zoom it in, so we can get the location of Greenwich. So what we came to know here? We came to know here that the Greenwich, which is a place in London, it is at 0 degree. Why it is at 0 degree? Because it is present on prime meridian. Okay, and prime meridian is serving as a starting point for the longitude. It is at 0 degree. Here comes the importance of lines of longitude. As I told you in the beginning that these lines are imaginary lines. If these lines are imaginary lines, then why we are supposed to learn them? Because lines of longitude or meridians show that how far east or west a place is. Now see, here are the lines of longitude and we have divided them according to certain distances, right? So we can locate any of the thing that how far that place from east and west is. Okay, so that is why it is important to have lines of longitude on the globe so we can locate any of the thing on the map or the globe. Here comes the distance between the lines of longitude. Lines of longitude join at the poles which are apart at the equator. The distance between a pair of lines is equivalent to 1 degree. Now, here are the lines of longitude which are running from one pole to another. Now, there is a distance, okay? These lines are not merged, they are separated from one another. The distance between two of the lines or a pair of lines is equivalent to 1 degree. Prime meridian is at 0 degree and the distance between two of the lines is 1 degree. These are the things you have to remember. So students, this is the time to say goodbye to all of you. I know that this is a kind of dry topic and it might be difficult for you, so I request you to read your book very properly. Let's have a quick review. When you see the globe, you can find a grid of lines traveling from north to south and from east to west. The lines running from north to south are called lines of longitude, and we know that these are the imaginary lines and they cannot be seen on the earth actually. If we talk about the lines of longitude, there are 360 lines of longitude on the globe, right? These lines travel from north to south and the lines of longitude are called as meridians. They are called as meridians. The prime meridian represents 0 degree. What is the prime meridian? The midone line. Okay, that is the prime meridian which is at 0 degree. It serves as the starting point for measuring the longitude, and a place named as Greenwich, that is in London, it is at 0 degree longitude. Longitude is measured in degrees east or west of the prime meridian. Lines of longitude or meridians show that how far from east or west a place is. Lines of longitude joins at the poles and are apart at the equator. The distance between any of the pair of lines is equal to 1 degree. So I hope that it is being a bit easy for you now. So please highlight the important points and take care of yourself. Wear the mask, stay clean, stay safe, stay home. Thank you.